If I put my ear on the line, I can hear it flowing through there. That is crazy.
Wow, I've never seen it coming out that quick.
Look at all that sap. Mid-March at Wishwell Farms doesn't only mean it's time for greenhouse tomatoes, it also means it's maple syrup season. Let's head down to the sugar shack and see what's going on. Alright folks, I'm here at our old dairy barn where we milked cows for 4 generations. This dairy farm was built in 1963 and we have since converted it to 2 things. 1, a commercial kitchen for making our pepper relish that we sell at our farmers markets, and 2, it's our sugar shack where we boil down our sap that is collected from the woods for making maple syrup. Let's step inside and take a closer look at the operation. Alright, so this is the 1,500 gallon sap storage tank before it goes through the reverse osmosis procedure. This is what is taken out of the sap. This is pure reverse osmosis water.
Yep.
With no sugar content now?
No sugar.
The sugar is all saved to be boiled down. Does it taste sugary at all? Like,
No.
Does it taste like a tree?
It tastes like RO water.
Sweet. Bottle that stuff up for summer.
No. So this is the reverse osmosis system. This can take most of the water out of the sap before you boil it, so it increases your efficiency dramatically. I'd take it in at about 2% sugar content, and then I will take about 70 to 80% of the water out. So it actually takes up to about 8 to 9% sugar content.
Wow.
And I mean, so
how much time is that saving you to make a gallon of maple syrup?
Instead of burning the sap, not burning, but boiling the sap for 8 hours, I only have to boil it for 2 hours.
Wow.
I mean, it's a huge energy savings.
Yeah, so you don't have to stay up all night anymore.
Yeah. If I didn't have this, the last run I had about 2,000 gallons, I would have been up for 40 hours straight boiling. Instead, I was only boiling for 8 to 10 hours.
Wow.
So it's awesome.
Yeah, I'd say.
Fire this boy up real quick. There's 2 8-inch membranes. This is like a reverse osmosis system in your house.
Right. Just a much grander scale.
Much bigger. The difference is the byproduct of mine is the pure, clean RO water. I don't use that. I dump that out, and I keep the concentrate,
Right.
which is the
sugary sap,
sugary
concentrated
sap.
sugar
Yeah.
sap. Okay.
And we fire up. So this is the supply pump right there, and then it goes right into the little got about 10 micron filter, and then it goes into this big monsters pump here. Getting 5 horsepower motor running this piston pump. Okay. This boosts it up to about 400 psi, and then I got another pump here. It's a recirculating pump, and that helps recirculate the sap through the membrane so it doesn't clog up the membrane.
Right.
So let's fire up as a supply pump. I'll fire up the pressure pump, and then now the recirculating pump. And this is the flow rate in gallons per minute of the concentrate. So right now it's going about 4 gallons per minute of concentrated sap coming out.
What's the PSI you're shooting for?
I usually go to about 350 or so.
Okay.
They can handle more. I don't want to overwork the system. So this, if the pressure drops anywhere in the system, it automatically shuts off, so it doesn't ruin the pumps and run it dry.
Right. Here's the evaporator that will be fired up here in a few hours. Start making some actual maple syrup. So we'll come back and check this process out after we get back from the woods. So we're here at the woods. We're going to go down here where there is a mini bulk tank full of sap. We're going to pump it into the transport cart to take back to the farm. For those of you who do not know how maple syrup is produced or what makes sap flow, it requires freezing at night and thawing during the day. So it's middle March right now and the conditions are absolutely perfect. It's getting into the 20s, mid 20s at night, and today it's almost 40 degrees or at least high 30s. So the sap is really flowing well. There's our little transfer pump. Wow, it's really flowing. So this runs continuously. This is siphoning it out of all the lines?
It's a vacuum pump.
Vacuum pump.
This is a very simple vacuum pump. Having stuff under vacuum increase the efficiency, how quick it pulls the sap out of the tree.
Okay, so you're actually assisting in the removal of the sap from the trees.
Yeah,
kind of.
So you can almost double my production by using this vacuum.
Is that right?
You only have a certain window of time. That's probably kind of loud.
Yeah.
To get the sap out of the tree. So if you have like only 8-hour window, you want to have a vacuum pump to try to get all that sap out.
Right.
Having the pump just helps you get it out much quicker.
Now, will the tree eventually dry up during the day because you removed all the sap?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're just speeding up the process.
So at night, what happens is the tree will actually, when it's going through that freezing process, the sap actually fills up the column of tree.
Okay.
During that freezing time, and then during the daytime, actually will have pressure. If you put a pressure gauge on that hole that you put in the tree, it can actually build up to about 25 psi is what I've seen some of the researchers have showed. And at night, the tree will actually pull a vacuum in. It will actually suck the sap back into the tree.
Okay.
If you put a vacuum gauge on it, it's actually pulled up to about 10 inches of vacuum.
How many acres would you say? We got like 20 or 30 acres of woods here.
Probably
you got
20 total.
Tubes running through all the maple trees in our woods here. And how many taps this year?
This one has about 350 taps, and the other woods has about 650.
Okay.
Which is a quarter mile over that way.
You can actually see the sap flowing through the line. There's a bubble cover right there. Okay, that's not actually a tap right there.
No, this is the tap right here.
Those are the taps.
So, yeah, this is
man, this is so much more efficient than the old catch it in the bucket or bag system.
I did bags the first year for half of the woods for just 200 trees. Never again. If you're only doing that if you're doing it a hobby, if you're trying to actually make your time worth something, you have to do tubing. I mean, I've got about 5 miles of tubing stretched through all the woods here. Wow. I mean, it's quite an investment, but it's well worth it.
And we will show you just how well worth it is when we taste the end product. Here's how well the sap is flowing today. We just pulled this tap off the tree.
Look at that.
Really running.
This is just a quick way I check the vacuum, and it's not very good today. I probably have a couple taps that fell off, like it's sucking in air somewhere. Right now I'm only getting about 5 inches of vacuum.
What should that be?
I've had if this was great, it'd be up to 15 to 20 on this specific pump. My other woods will do about 20 to 25. I have a better, more efficient pump than this one.
We'll go down and take a look at it next.
Yeah.
How come you don't tap every maple tree?
If you tap ones like this, if you drill a hole through it, there's not gonna be much of the tree left, so the structural integrity of the tree is gonna be diminished, and you're gonna run out of places to tap in the future.
Oh, okay.
So you cannot tap the same hole year after year. You actually have to tap a different location. Here's the hole from last year, and then I like to go up and over. Was tapping it up there, and just kind of work around the tree, and then I'll work down this way.
Okay, so kind of a spiral.
Yeah, so you don't want to tap the same location around the tree, because that's also gonna, I mean, could harm the tree. Yeah. Just it's good to stagger it just for the structural integrity of the tree. Yeah. And then eventually, in about 10 to 20 years, by the time I make it around, I will be able to tap in that same location. Okay. Because the first 1.5 inches of fresh new wood is where the sap comes from.
So how many revolutions in a lifetime can you make on a tree?
Another thing, you can tap down here.
Yeah. You can tap how do you choose the height to tap? Why not, obviously not 10 feet high because you have to have a ladder, but why not need a waist high?
I could tap down there. I'm tall, I guess, so I just tap up here.
It probably also makes it, nice to have the line up off the ground a little bit too, right?
Yeah, it's nice to keep things out of the ground. And just...
We are walking across the field to the next set of tanks right up ahead. And we'll see what kind of volume we have there. The tank you're shuttling with is a 500 gallon, I imagine?
Yeah.
So after you pump down 2 tanks, you've got to go back and unload into the big bulk tank at the dairy. All right, here we are at Station 2. Let's see what we got flowing here. Woo! So this is the flow coming from how many taps?
About 700.
Wow. 650. Unbelievable. Whoa, what was that?
It's a releaser.
Okay.
So what it does is
it fills this little tank up and then drops into the big tank?
Yeah. So this is the vacuum pump. You saw that other little one over there? I made that one because and this one I
You bought this one?
I bought this one and just put an electric motor on it.
Yeah.
And so this does a lot more volume, it just pulls a lot of vacuum. So this is just an oil compartment, and this is the pump running right here.
Okay.
And this is just a little chamber. The vacuum goes up here, and it pulls vacuum on that releaser is what it's called. So in order to get the sap out of this, you have to disconnect it from the vacuum for a little bit so the sap can drop out into this tank.
Gotcha.
And you can see the vacuum gauge on this one. We're sitting around 21 inches of vacuum. The other woods was only about 6 or 7.
Oh wow, I can hear it. If I put my ear on the line, I can hear it flowing through there. That is crazy. Nice sophisticated system, I see.
Yeah, I know. That's pretty
gosh,
crappy.
you're losing a third of it. No, maybe not that much.
So yeah, we're at 20 inches of vacuum on this woods. The other one you saw was only we're about 7 or 8. I had one tap that had fallen off, and the other.
Oh, you found it?
Yeah, I lost a lot of vacuum.
Yeah. That is sweet, man. It's like looking at a washing machine running or something.
Wow, I've never seen it coming out that quick.
Man. So he was just saying that because it's so warm and sunny today, the trees are kind of warming up quicker, allowing for this high flow of sap to be taking place. Yeah, normally, we'll have to calculate, be interesting to see what this one does, but this wood normally on a good day does about 100 gallons per hour, and then it slowly tapers off. Every hour it may go down to like 95 gallons, the next hour maybe 90 gallons, but at its peak, which it is probably right now, it's probably at 120 or more. It's really pumping it out. And it takes about 40 to 50 gallons of sap to make 1 gallon of syrup. Yeah. So that's like the only thing I knew about maple syrup production. This is all new to me. Just took 4 years. Yeah. So this is your 4th year of collecting sap, but this is by far the biggest year, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. More sophisticated now. Here's the 3 collection tanks for what is flowing out of the woods that we were just looking at. It looks like he's probably got 600 gallons there, I'm guessing. I'm just out here on the road waiting for my brother to bring back the shuttle tank for the sap. And we have a couple ponds out here across the road, and I can hear the peeper frogs. And they say that when you start hearing peeper frogs, that's nearing the end of maple sugar season. So it is supposed to get into the high 60s this weekend or later in the week, so that'll probably quite possibly be the end of the maple sugar season. He's down there replacing a filter. We are just about full. Look at all that good sap in there. Wow. All right, we're in the old dairy milk house where we used to milk cows. And here is a look at the evaporator where we boil the sap. This is where the sweet mapley goodness is being produced right here. I know there's not much to see. A lot of steam. So the sap is stored up here in this tank. Gravity flows through the yellow hose. Into a heat exchanger up inside the hood here that preheats it. Then it flows into this float system, and then from here flows into the heat chamber and gets boiled. All right, Joel, tell us a little more detail about this evaporator here.
It's 2 feet wide and 10 feet long. It can boil about 40 to 50 gallons per hour. And you can see a lot of steam just roaring out here. A lot of times they don't have steam hoods, but this is just a rigged up steam hood to kind of keep stuff from falling in, and so it doesn't get too steamy in here.
Well, I'd say it's pretty darn steamy. Holy crap! If I
have this on here, we wouldn't be able to see each other.
Wow, that smells really good. Anything else we should know about this boiling process here?
One new thing I added to it recently was an auto draw off. So the syrup, once it gets to 7 degrees above the boiling point, this will actually automatically open the valve and drop the syrup out. You can sit and kind of relax. Otherwise, you're constantly watching, try not to burn the syrup or try not to get it too hot. Or this just kind of keeps it nice and stabilized and regulated. The left is the beginning of the season. This was actually 2 years ago.
Okay.
And it starts out very light, and it gets darker for a few of the runs, and then it gets lighter again and lighter right towards the end.
Wow.
So then last year, it was all dark.
Yep.
Pretty much the entire season.
So this is 2018 run right here. And it all looks pretty similar.
So this year it's going to be
a lot lighter.
A lot lighter. Then right now it's starting to get dark here on March 16th. The season's just about over.
All right, so the maple syrup on the left is the early season syrup, then mid-season syrup, and on the right is late season syrup. And it could go light again. Every season is different. All right, here is a steam kettle full of finished product ready for bottling, right?
Yep. So we'll run it, once this heats up, we'll run it through this filter press, which I don't have, I just used this yesterday, so I still gotta clean everything, but it has a bunch of these plates. It's a little confusing how it works, but these plates go in here like this, and then the filter paper goes in between these, and then you just stack it up all the way.
So I didn't realize you had to filter all the maple syrup.
Oh, it has a lot of, it's called sugar sand or niter. Just a lot of minerals and stuff that will settle to the bottom, and it's not desirable. Actually, by FDA requires you to filter it out.
Okay.
So from the filter, after it runs through that, it comes out perfectly crystal clear, and then I just open the valve up and fill the jar up. This one actually has coffee in it, coffee infused maple syrup. So we're gonna be trying that this year.
That sounds good.
And then this is just normal. This is the first run of the year. Very light color and light flavor.
That's a beautiful color. That's the color I like. Wow. But there's less flavor in that.
No, there's less maple flavor in this than there will be in the darker stuff. I prefer a little bit darker, but everybody's different.
Well, that was very interesting even for me, even though all this maple syrup production has taken place on our farm at Wishwell Farms. I've never really went around and followed Joel in the woods to see how he collects the sap, and it was pretty impressive how he has been very innovative and mechanized a lot of the sap collecting and of boiling the sap to make the maple syrup. Very interesting stuff. So even though we're all part of the same farm here at Wishwell Farms, we kind of all do separate things in the off season, and I've kind of concentrated on the vegetable production, even though that's basically a year-round enterprise. We do, however, all come together during planting and harvesting of the grain crops. Well, I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. It sure was nice for me to get away from the greenhouse tomatoes for a little bit, and I'll see you on the next one.